The felt insulation, you have one set included in your yurt, 2 half moons for the roof, and 3, sometimes 4 rectangles that will go around the walls. And then we get a bag of soft parts. And I will show you what's in this bag. You have a canvas, an inside liner, a top flap, a decorative skirt, and a bundle of ropes. I forgot to mention in the list of tools that the ladder is definitely handy. You can climb on the tonneau, but if you do so, make sure you put your weights on top of the 2 central poles, not in the front or in the back. So we're now preparing the soft parts just before installation. So we're rolling the wall felt. And it's always handy to have a couple tarps. So the felt is made of sheep wool, 100% Mongolian sheep wool. This one is actually processed in a very old factory, but it gives a certain density, so it will resist humidity. It's a lot better quality than the felt that's made the traditional way. See, there are little grommets here. We rolled one from left to right. We will roll the next one from right to left. So there is a grommet. You roll always the grommet on the inside. We've rolled one in one way, left to right. The next one will roll right to left, just the opposite way. The last one doesn't really matter one way or the other. And now we take the top parts, the roof, they've been folded for transport. We will now fold them for setup. Everything is been sewn by hand. And here Chuck takes one of the edge, comes to the center. This is half of the roof. We have 2 pieces like that. And so it's not only the insulation, Mongolians say it's the yurt's muscle. So it will really add strength to the whole structure. And we fold it again, always like in a pie shape towards the center. And here it's ready for setup. We can fold them already in 2, so it's really ready to be thrown on the structure. The last thing we can prepare for the end is the insulated top flap. Here the ropes were already put, always with the same principle. This is something you will have to do. So you go through this loop, untwist the end of the rope. Those are always very tight. Four times like that. You have a bundle of 4 ropes that are a little thicker than the wall ropes. So this is ready for setup. We can actually already fold it into a triangle like that. It's ready. Now we will put the inner liner, soft cotton, natural cotton. If you do have the option of a mosquito netting, or if you wanted to add mosquito netting, it's the time to do it on the walls. We sell an inner liner that has already the mosquito netting integrated, but you can also take a roll of mosquito netting, start at the door and staple it on the wall inside, going all around the yurt to the other side. Here we're going to place the inner liner. It's always good to have a roof rafter at hand. So you have to identify the top part. The top part is ending with a little string. We have two of them. We take this package and we throw it to the top. This will cover the entire yurt. We have the seams facing outside, so it's nice inside the yurt. Risha here is holding the door. There's a cut for the door. And we are going all around the yurt, keeping this edge seam about the height of the roof hedge. And by pulling the liner towards the back, it raises naturally into place. So now I'm going to do the same on the other side of the door. And you have someone hold the door nice and symmetrical around the door frame. And now from the inside we're going to go how we attach, we secure this liner inside the yurt. Lift the inside roof rafter above the door and squeeze it between the roof rafter and the liner. Here we pull the liner in and we put the un on the liner. Like this. We're nice and symmetrical on each side of the door. The inner liner has two straps, two little strings on each end. So now we've overlapped and we're pulling one on each side and we'll bring them in. Often it's long enough to attach them together. Here it is not. So what we'll do, we'll simply attach it to the un. So those liner are not always going to the ground. So it's your choice if you want to have it really tight against the tonneau or tight at the bottom. The house wrap ends up being on top of the inner liner. It will also be on top of the felts. So now we're ready with the inner liner. We're going to put the felts on top of the yurt. If you're strong enough, you do it on one, or you get some help. And you put this package as high as you can in the middle of the door. You take a roof rafter, you use the rounded part and shove this on top. So you unfold it and Chuck will make sure that the house wrap is going to be placed above the felt. And here he's pulling the felt and tucking it under the tonneau, making sure the house wrap is pulled out completely. We folded it. Here's our center. I folded it in two. We go at the back. We just pull the inner liner in place. We lift it and we shove it as high as we can. And we unfold on both sides. So here Chuck pulled the felt to the top. This slid to the top. So now we just pull the underliner so it doesn't slide back. And you see Chuck at the moment is sitting on top of the tonneau, which is okay, even we normally tell him not to. And he's sitting above the central pole. Here we have a little bit of an overlap. We want to have a nice overlap. And Chuck will pull the house wrap and tuck the felt under the lip again. Now we're going to place the wall felts. Some people, especially if you live in your yurt, or if it's a large yurt, might want to put a second layer of felt, or even a third. Usually with two layers you're good enough. The beauty and the efficiency of the Mongolian yurt is that it's so compact. Combined with the felt, it makes it a very small volume to keep warm. So 1 or 2 felts, that's up to you. It would be the time to set them up. We're taking one of the roll of felt. This one will start on the left side of the door. It has the grommet. We place it just against the door. We tuck it inside between the wall and the wood skirt. And here on the top, we will lift the roof and tuck it under the roof. If you have a lot of wind, you might place a few ropes around, use the outside rope and place them around to hold the felt so they don't slide back down. Also, we've seen the wall felt have grommets here. You could attach ropes and go over to the other side, to the other grommets, to hold them in place. Without wind, with the nice overlap tucked under the roof felt and leaning on the platform, they will hold in place. We take the next roll of felt, the one that we did fold the opposite way. Once again, just against the door. And the last felt we overlap about a foot. If you chose the house wrap option, here's what you're going to get. Actually, a roof house wrap that's pre-cut and pre-assembled, and a roll of house wrap. You will need a roll of tape to finish the assembly. It's a special tape called tuck tape. The house wrap is an option that we recommend strongly in most climates in North America because they're more humid. The yurt will be covered with a cotton-based canvas that is water resistant but not waterproof. So in case of heavy rains or snow melt, extended snow melt, you might have humidity that seeps in. The house wrap will take care of this while still allowing the yurt to breathe, which makes it so comfortable and in a way healthier. So the house wrap will stop the water coming in but allow the yurt to breathe from inside out. You can buy it pre-cut from us, or you can make it and we'll give you the instructions of how to do it. We unroll it and we will place it under the lip of house wrap that's on the tonneau. So this felt is actually processed with a needle machine, and sometimes the needle remain in the felt. Just be a little careful. If you see one, just remove it. They're rare. So here Chuck tucked the house wrap under the lip. Now he's gonna pull each side that's really strongly against the tonneau. There you go. So we have the nicest possible finish. You need to pull more, I think. There will be always some wrinkles, it's not a big deal. So now we have a pretty good finish. So we will take those two parts together, and here we want to be very precise, not having too many wrinkles or it'll be potential for water leaks. Also, we made sure that the house wrap, the print side, is facing up. So we're making sure that we have a nice seam. If you make a mistake, don't rip the tape off or you'll remove the coating. Cut it and start again. Using a roof rafter, you can catch the tape. Always best to have a few people. And here, nice finish all the way down. Use a knife, of course. And Chuck will take the rounded, or I can do it from here. Taking the rounded end of the un, I rub the tape so it sticks well all the way. Now this is almost done for the roof. Chuck will take a piece of tape across each of the four corners to hold the skirt in place.
Merci.
We'll be starting on the door, so just make sure that the felt is well tucked against the door for good insulation. We make sure we overlap over the rim. Parfait. A nice seam here. You won't see this tape once the yurt is finished. We'll stop here, we'll do the finish at the door a little later. So now we unroll this roll and we'll take the roof, overlap over the wall, and we'll put little strips of tapes every 2 to 3 feet. We use the opportunity to cut here the space for the door. And Richard, if you're going to tape this again as far as you can on the edge of the door. That tape is super strong. And we'll just end it here for now. We'll finish the rest later. Here we cut the other side. About to the edge. We can tape it as well. So if the house wrap is well installed, you won't have any water inside the yurt. It does reduce a little bit the breathing, but it is so far the best compromise in a humid climate. If you start having drips somewhere or water stains, there might be a damage in the house wrap. So there it's a matter of identifying it and retaping it where the damage is. We also recommend removing the snow in winter, because the snow melting while you're heating the yurt will go into the little holes, freeze when you stop heating it, and basically prevent the house wrap from freezing. So when you enter with your snow boots or your cook, this water might accumulate inside the yurt and then create water stains. That's why we recommend removing the snow in winter. It's really so it breathes better. We will also use now pieces of wrap about that wide. If you have little leftovers, make little squares about what, 2 feet by 2 feet, and we will place them at the cardinal direction here, because here later we will have a rope coming from the roof. That rope will be on top of the canvas. That rope with the wind will actually have the canvas rub against the house wrap, it could create a water entry. That's why we recommend, that's a little trick, to put a piece of house wrap in this position. So it will prevent this rubbing on the edge. When you do move your yurt, don't rip the tape off or you would be removing the coating. Just cut the tapes and you retape the next time. So we now take the canvas and we'll shove it above the door. The canvas is usually pre-folded like the inner liner was. It will cover the entire yurt. So we open until we find the top part, and using the rounded part of the un, we throw it on top. And here again we have seams, they will show out. We take one edge and we go around. While we do so, someone will manage the door and make sure the door is well centered. Here we're getting to the door. This one got damaged during transport. That's why we're using it today. That won't happen on your yurt. There's a little bundle of rope on the side. We'll take the opportunity to undo it. And now we come back up, overlapping. And there is one sleeve on one side of the canvas. This one will come on top. The top of the canvas is decorated and it has the nicer seam facing up. So that's how you'll know that your canvas is in the right position. The decoration on top. If you don't have any decoration, the nice seams will be facing up. Chuck right now is doing the same as we did before. He's tucking the canvas under the lip, this time above the house wrap. They each finish with a long string. Because of the house wrap that's sealed against the tonneau, we can't go inside the yurt to touch the outer canvas. So we will go all around the tonneau and attach each end of the canvas in front of the tonneau and squeeze the canvas against the tonneau. And at the end, if we are missing a little bit, because it's a long rope, we might just have to add a little bit of rope on those strings to finish, and we'll tighten them together in front of the tonneau. Tuck it under so it's nice. Here are the two ends. One, we made a loop at the end, so we'll pass the other end through this little loop. So here Chuck really pulls it strongly and tucks the rope and the canvas under the tonneau's lip. That's good. It's nice and tight. Again, a simple loop nut, so it's easy to release. There we go. Take this little rope that's attached on the overlap. I'll bring it perpendicular into the top rope, and I make a slip knot and make a tension knot, the tractor's hitch. That will prevent your overlap to fly away. Now we're going to take the circling ropes and we make just a little loop nut to hold it for now. We take the whole rope at the same height trying to keep it flat. And we go all around the yurt. And here I'm going to even the rope so they have the same length on both sides. And just adjust the canvas so it's nice. And here I'm going to make my tracker's hitch. So I twist the rope once and twice, taking the front part of the rope. This way this nut will always release even if it's frozen. And I take the front part, just a small loop nut, and we do the same thing on the other side. We're really short here with this rope. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're just a tad bit short. But 2 twists, taking the front end of the rope and passing that the other end into the loop. And now I've got twice the strength this way. So really I pull very strongly. I pinch with 2 fingers, that's enough to hold it in place. And I do my loop nut, that's easy to release. On the other side, I go back and tie it even more. That's really the safety rope. This rope is attaching the whole package, the whole yurt. It's pushing the uns inside. And that's really what's holding the whole yurt together. This rope needs to be always tight. So that's a habit when you get into the yurt. Check your yurt, your rope, and once in a while, every few weeks or something, if you see it's not tight, you just tie it back. And we do that with the 2 other ropes. To do the tracker's hitch, you go as far as you can with your rope. And you will start 2 hands on the other rope from the end, because the nut will use a little bit of length. You twist it twice. You take the front part of the rope to create another loop. This way it will always release easily. Through this loop you take the end of the rope, and now you can pull. It's like a pulley, you have twice the strength. And once you've pulled it enough, you hold it with 2 fingers, you pinch here so it doesn't release, and you do a slip knot. The bottom rope doesn't have to be that tight, otherwise you'll pull your walls into. But the first 2 ropes have to be super tight. Here, since is an alternative when the ropes are a little short, you can just a simple loop knot on one end. And this one always releases easily. Here we just have a simple loop knot, but this way on the other end we have more room to play to make our tracker's hitch. Here we take the hoosh, the insulated top flap. It's a square piece that we folded into a triangle. One side is decorated. In Mongolia it always covers the back half of the tonneau. So we'll have the decorated side showing when it's open. We will pull each of our rope to slide the hoosh on top, covering the back half. So now we take this rope, we go under the top rope, back up, around and down, over, under, around and down. Looks like a fitness program. Over, under, back up, around and down. And you can finish it with a loop knot. We recommend putting a ring or a nail in the platform and attaching it to the platform, because in case of high winds you could have the wind pull into the top flap that would act like a sail. That's why it's better to hold it firmly on the platform. And we do that on the other side and on one rope at the back. At the back we have two ropes. One we attach the same way firmly, the other one is loose. Here you can just hold it like this. This is the position half covered. If you want more ventilation, you pull both ropes to uncover the dome. If instead, or if you want more light, instead if you want to close the dome, you will take the loose rope, throw it over, and pull the whole thing all the way to the front, and this way the yurt is closed. Better insulation against rain, but no light. We will show you a few options. We have 4 little windows inserts, very basic, that cover the front half, which you can upgrade yourself, or you can also order some different options that we will describe. This is the hayafch, the decorative skirt. Prevents the goats and the sheep from peeing against the yurt. Mongolian will pile dirt against it in the winter. For us, it's more decoration. It hides this connection that's never absolutely perfect. One is finishing with the blue line here, and the other end, the other part, there are 2 parts, is also finishing. So on each side of the door, you can pass it through the ring, hang it so that it hides the connection, maybe all the way down to the platform to be nice. A loop knot. You could put a staple just to hold it. And then you unroll, and every time you have a string, take that string and hang it with just a simple slip knot, loop knot, all around the yurt.